I'm going to go over the review for stoichiometry. Please take out your review and take out this worksheet like this. In order to do the review or stoichiometry, you do need to see this worksheet. Please follow along. If you already know what you are doing, then you can continue and just look up when you need assistance. I'm going to start with number 1. List the coefficients of the reaction above. The coefficient is always going to be the large number in front of the element. So the coefficients for the reaction above will be 2, 3, 2, 3. You can put a little dot in between them. Number 2. Besides balancing the equation, what else do these coefficients represent? Coefficients represent the number of moles as well. That is why when you're doing the T-charts for stoichiometry, we no longer just put a 1 in front of the moles. From now on, you use the coefficients. Number 3. Give the mole ratio of AlBr3 to AlCl3. Okay, so we look at the coefficient for AlBr3. You need to refer back to the equation up top. The coefficient for AlBr3 is 2 to AlCl3, which is over here, and that's 2. So it is a 2 to 2 ratio. B, Cl2, coefficient for Cl2 is 3 to AlC3. AlC3 is 2. It is a 3 to 2 ratio. Aluminum bromide to chlorine. Aluminum bromide is AlBr, so that is 2. Chlorine is right here, and the coefficient for chlorine is 3. That is a 2 to 3 ratio. Number 4. Determine if the following conversion factors are correct or incorrect. We'll start with the first one, and we do need to refer back to the original equation at the top. A mole of Cl2 is equal to a mole of Br2. Okay, this is correct. You find the Cl2 here and the Br2, and the coefficient in front of each of them is 3, which can be reduced to just 1 over 1. This one, a mole of Cl2 is equal to a gram of Br2. So now they're talking about grams, moles to grams being equal. This is incorrect. Is a mole of Cl2 equal to a gram of Cl2? Yes, because it is the same element. The last one is the grams of Cl2 equal to grams of Br2? No. Number 5, place the following in scientific notation with 2 sig figs. Scientific notation, you begin with the decimal point and you go in between the first two numerals. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2.56 times 10 to the negative 4. Because I went this way, it's a negative. B. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 2.0 times 10 to the negative 7. That is scientific notation. Number 6, mole to mole. This is stoichiometry, so you always have to check that the equation given is reduced. The equation is right here. I have 2 ALs. I have 2 ALs. I have 6 BRs. See, because it has a little 3. But I have 6 BRs here as well. And I have 6 CLs because of the little subscript here. And I have 6 CLs here as well. So after we know it's already balanced, we can begin the equation. A. How many moles of Br2 are produced when 6.5 moles of AlBr3 reacts with Cl2? Okay, before you even begin, you need to locate the first number you're given. Okay, the first number you're given will always be written on the top left-hand corner. That is what you'll start with. You always need to include this portion. It's very, very important. It tells you your next step. Not only that, it keeps you organized. If you do not start doing this on your worksheets, I will start taking off points. Not just mole, but whatever element is connected to it. You need that as well. Because if you know this is mole of AlBr3, then this has to be mole of AlBr3. These units must be the same. Okay, whatever you're looking for will be in your top right-hand box. How many moles of Br2? That's what we're looking for. It's asking us how many moles of Br2. So moles of Br2 will go there. And like I said earlier on question number 2, we no longer just put a 1 by the moles. We're going to use the coefficients. The coefficients, you will refer back to the original equation. What is the coefficient of Br2? Here's Br2. I would put a 3. What is the coefficient of AlBr3? I look at the equation up here. The coefficient for AlBr3 is 2. Anything side to side, you multiply. You'll take 6.5 times 3 in your calculator. If you got an equation like this and it has scientific notation when you're just multiplying simple numbers, you just hit this button at the top left-hand corner, second, DRG, and you use the arrow to go to flow, change the mode, and then you hit enter. You need to be comfortable with your calculator in doing that. So 6.5 times 3 equals 19.5. Then you divide what's on the bottom, which is 2. So divide it by 2, 9.75. But 9.75 what? What was I looking for? It's 9.75 moles of Br2. Okay, and all I did was 6.5 times 3, divided that number by the bottom number. Next, it's asking you how many moles of Cl2 are required to produce 4.50 moles. Okay, you really don't have to read the question at all. You need to identify what you are given. Okay? That's the number is given, and it always goes in your top left-hand box. Do not leave it like this. You need to include moles of what? Because if that's what's here, okay, then you know what's going to go down here. Moles of AlCl3. And what we are looking for goes in your top right-hand corner. How many moles of Cl2? That's what we're looking for. When it says how many, can you guys guess what goes here? It's going to be the coefficients from the original equation. So find Cl2 up top. Yep, here we go. The coefficient is 3. Next, find AlC3. Find the coefficient. Coefficient is a 2. Now you solve. You're going to get your calculator and do 4.50 times 3. Anything side by side, you multiply. That gave me 13.5, and I'm going to divide it by 2. It's 6.75. 6.75 what? What was I looking for? Moles of Cl2. Okay, we're going to start at number 7. We did moles to moles, and now we're going to do moles to grams and grams to moles. Again, this sheet will come in handy. Okay, so find this in your notes. Okay, before I even read it, I'm going to double check that this is balanced. Okay, when I say balanced, that means whatever elements are on this side have to be equal to the elements on this side. So it says I have 2 ALs. I have 6 BRs because this 2 gets multiplied by the subscript for BR. Okay, how many CLs do I have? You have 6 CLs because it gets multiplied by the subscript. Now I'm going to see over here. I have 2 ALs. This 2 is for the AL. It's for the CL2 as well, but because the CL has the 3, that means it gets multiplied by the 3. But for AL, I only have 2. For CL, it got multiplied, so now I have 6. How many BRs do I have? Hopefully you said 6. This 3 gets multiplied by the 2. So when I say balance the equation, this is what I mean. However many atoms of Cl there are have to match the other side of the equation. So what's on one side of the arrow must match on the other side of the arrow. 6Cl, 6Cl, 2Al, 2Al, 6Br, 6Brs. We now know that it is balanced. It will not always be balanced for you, so take the time to make sure it is, or else your problems you solve for will be incorrect. Before I read it, I'm just going to look at what I am given. 3.5 moles of aluminum bromide. Whatever you're given will always go in the top left-hand corner. Always, always include the unit. Do not just write 3.5. Do not just write 3.5 moles. It's very important. That's why I keep saying it. So then whatever's here goes here in this box. Okay. Whatever you are looking for is going to go in the top right-hand box. Okay, so this is my top right-hand box. I'm going to read the question. How many grams of chlorine? That's what I'm looking for. Grams of chlorine. Okay, if I'm not sure what goes in these two boxes, I'm going to refer back to this sheet. I am given moles and I'm going to grams. So I would look at this one, grams to moles. According to my notes, I'm sorry guys, I was given moles to grams. So I'm going to look at number 3, moles to grams. And according to this notes, what goes on the bottom was what I was given. I was given the ALBR3. And what goes on the top is a mole, but it's the mole of the unknown. When I say unknown, it's the mole of what you're looking for, and you can always just look in your top right-hand box, because this is what we want. This is our unknown. This is what we're looking for. So that's what goes there. And then 1 mole will go here. How do I know 1 mole goes there? I look at this chart, moles to grams, and it tells me 1 mole goes there. But these moles I have to fill in, and I can't just put a 1. I'm going to refer back to the original equation. How many moles of Cl do I have? I have 3. So I'm going to put a 3 there. How many moles of AlBr do I have? You look at the coefficient, and that's what you put right next to the mole of AlBr3, which is 2. Now to solve for this, last, I need to get the grams of chlorine. You're going to have to look at your periodic chart. To find the grams of chlorine, you're looking for the number underneath chlorine, 35.45. Whenever it says grams, you will refer to your periodic chart, okay? So I take 3.5 times 3 times 35.45, and I divide it by 2. Do the top first, 3.5 times 3 times 35.45. So that gave me 372.225. And now I'm going to divide it by 2 because that's on the bottom. 186.1. 186.1 of what? Whatever I was looking for, which was grams of chlorine. Okay, we have time for one more. Before I even read it, I'm just going to look at the number I was given. I'm going to put that in my top left. Whatever number you see goes in your top left. That's how you start the equation. 4.5 moles of chlorine. If moles of chlorine's there, moles of chlorine is here. What am I looking for? It says find the mass of bromine. By now we should know that mass means grams. So I am looking for the grams of bromine. So I was given moles and I'm going to grams. So it's the same setup as the question above, which means 1 mole goes here, and the mole of the unknown, or whatever I'm looking at, which happens to be bromine, that's the coefficient I look for. So the mole of bromine, go back to the equation at top, the mole of bromine is 3, and the mole of chlorine is 3 as well. Whatever side by side gets multiplied, you need to get the grams of bromine I do that with a periodic chart, 79.9. So I'm going to take 4.5 times 3 times 79.9. That gave me 1078.65. So 1078. But I need to divide by what's on the bottom, which is 3. My final answer is 359.5. It wanted grams of bromine. We will continue the review